This video is for you if you are considering becoming a nurse or working in the health profession. And it's designed to give you some insights of the things I wish I knew before starting. The thing I wish I was told and no one talked about in any university, any lecture, is night shift. I freaking hate night shifts. No one mentioned it, no one prepared you for what would come for night shifts. For me, I hate night shift. I didn't realize you have to force yourself to stay awake. And that's the most horrible feeling when your body is telling you to sleep and your eyes are getting so heavy, your body is like aching and you just get restless because you're just so tired, but you have to stay awake. Another thing that sucks about night shift is that you are still expected to be able to critically think and be emotionally responsive even though you're sleep deprived. One time I was working in emergency and it was really early in the morning. I was exhausted, I had so many tasks to do and my willpower and emotional capabilities was drained. My battery was drained. And right when I was just at the lowest point, my brain couldn't even function. I was walking around like a zombie and a lady came up to me and asked me a very heavy emotional question, why she's in pain, will she be okay? And I wasn't able to be in the right mindset and provide her that reassurance and that empathy that was required. I was literally zonked and I couldn't reply. I wanted to be able to give her some reassurance and to help her, but I just couldn't, and that was a horrible, horrible feeling. You get better at night shifts, but for me, it's one of the worst things, and I wish someone had told me. Another horrible thing about night shift, when you are getting ready to go to work at 9 p.m. at night, if you're living with your partner, they're all tucked in bed, they're warm, you're getting out of bed to go to work. That is one of the most horrible things. That is just shit. Another misconception or thing I wish I knew about nursing. Not everyone in nursing is good. Before I started nursing, I thought most people who get into nursing want to help people. An example, when I was a student, I went on work experience. One of the more senior nurses on the ward asked me why I wanted to be a nurse. And I told her I wanted to be a nurse so I can help people and be there for them when they can't help themselves. And literally, she looked at me and she laughed. She shook her head and said, "Oh, if only you knew." I was shocked. I was like, what? Isn't that why most people get into nursing? Have I been conned into nursing? Is there something I'm missing? Am I not understanding something? I realize now that a lot of people, they have good intentions starting nursing, but because it's such an emotional and high stress job, people can get burnt out and they forget to look after themselves, and it makes it hard for them to look after other people. With anything in life, any job, there are good and there are bad people. So what I've learned and what I encourage you to do, if you do become a nurse or any profession, find people who are excellent at what they do and take the positive things and implement it in your practice. There are going to be negative people anywhere you go, and it doesn't change in nursing. It's also very important to stay away from those negative people, because if you surround yourself with those people, you will start becoming negative just by default, because you become the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. And even if you're positive, the more time you spend around them, the more negative talk, you will become more negative. So just be mindful of that. Another thing I wish I knew before starting nursing is that you learn everything on the job. University or going through TAFE, you learn the theory of everything. In practice, you learn what the routines are, the expectations, the methods, everything you learn on the job. The knowledge you've learned for the last 3 years in university, I hate to break it with you, it's going to be about 10% of the things you need to know. You learn 90% of the things you learn on the job. Which leads into the next thing I wish I knew before starting nursing. You won't feel ready after you study to be a nurse. You finish your studies, it's 4 years, and you don't feel ready to look after people and to have people's lives in your hands. It's a big pressure, but it's okay. Everyone has these feelings that you're not ready. But as I said before, you learn a lot of the things you need to know on the job. And there are people like educators who their job is to help ease you into the job, and they will guide you in what you need to know and how you should progress. For people who are fast learners, they generally take to 1 to 3 months in that new position to get comfortable and learn the routines. Some people are very quick. My girlfriend, she can pick up on the routines, the structure, the paperwork of an organization within probably 2-3 weeks of working in one spot. She will just intuitively pick up on these things. For me, I am a slow learner. I take probably 3 to 4 to 5 months before I get comfortable enough in a position to have a sense that I know what I am doing. Everyone learns at their own pace. It takes time to build that confidence. I know that I am slow at work in some areas, and I'm trying to actively get better. It's always a continual process. Everyone is getting better and updating. Another thing I wish I knew before starting is that there's going to be snacks everywhere. In the lunchroom, the tea room, there's going to be horrible snacks everywhere. There's going to be lamingtons, cookies, sugar, biscuits, cake. Almost all the time there's going to be something tempting you. And when you're stressed, you're under the pump, and you're tempted with all these options, it's very easy to start eating badly. I wish I knew this before coming in. I would highly recommend you packing your own food or having a healthy option and snack. I didn't know this when I started nursing, and it was a very stressful time for me, starting a new job, learning all these new skills. Inadvertently, I let my health slip. I put on 30 kilos in the span of about a year to 2 years of starting nursing. So I wish I knew that starting off. There's snacks everywhere. Don't be tempted. Bring your own snacks and healthy foods. One thing that I find super humbling and amazing about my job, the best things about nursing, you get to make that human connection with people. You get to be there for people when they're at their lowest points. You're in a very unique situation, a rare situation to help people when they're in a bad place. And it's the small actions that have the biggest impact. It's so easy as nurses for us to get caught up in the routine and the process of and checking off the things in our to-do list. There are so many things that nurses have to juggle, so many balls to keep people alive and keep the hospital and ward running. But the small things really make a difference. It could be just pulling out a chair for a visitor, or spending that 1 to 2 minutes talking to a patient, asking about their life, about their day. It makes a huge difference, and it's where I find a lot of my joy and satisfaction. The last 2 things I want to talk about, it's going to be about shit. In nursing, you're gonna have to clean up people's shit, literally. And it's never fun, but it's shit that's gotta get done. The first time you do it, it's always gonna be weird. It's going to be awkward. The mindset that I have now is that you're in this situation to be able to help someone that can't help themselves. Think about it, if you're in that situation, if your close family member is in that situation and they have trouble going to the toilet. This person has lived 65, 85 years and have so much history, so much knowledge. I want to be able to maintain their dignity and maintain their human aspect. Like, they know so much, but they just, they can't help themselves right now. I can be there to give them a hand. And that's one way that I've changed my thinking to make a job that is pretty shitty to be something of very valuable. You want to be feeling fresh, you want to be feeling clean. When you feel like you haven't brushed your teeth or you feel dirty and you're just not in a good mind frame. So if you can help someone feel better about themselves, it just makes a world of difference. And the last thing I want to talk about, the first time you give a shower to a patient is going to be messy. The first time you give a shower to a patient, I'll paint you a picture. You're in a small shower room. The patient has difficulty standing, so they can't stand. You have to shower them sitting down, which is like, what? You can shower sitting down? You put on your protective clothing, gown, water resistant. You turn on the hot water. You're standing there with a naked person sitting in a chair. You lather them up. your feet is getting wet because, you know, you're standing there with a hose in your hand and lathering them, and your shoes are wet, your socks are wet. It gets really hot because you're in an enclosed room, your hot water is on, the windows fog up, you're getting sweaty under the plastic protective clothing that you're wearing, the patient is confused, you're confused, you forgot to bring in the towel, so you're standing in the shower with a naked person wet and can't go out of the room because you can't leave a patient by yourself to get the towels, and you're like, what the hell do I do, what do I do? So then you're just stuck. It's not a fun place to be in. It's gonna happen to everyone, but I'm gonna prepare you so you don't have to experience that. Go follow a nurse, watch what they do, watch what they bring in. They bring in towels, soap, get everything ready. But you will forget something for the first time you shower, and that's with everything. That's why you'll learn everything on your job. You will forget to do something one time, you forget a towel. The next time, you won't forget a towel. You'll forget to do something for a procedure. The next time, you won't. So that's why 90% of the things you learn in nursing, you learn on the job. They're the things I wish I knew before starting nursing. 1. Night shifts suck. 2. Not every nurse is a good nurse. There are good and bad people everywhere. Follow the good people, stay away from the bad people. Number 3, you learn everything on the job. You're not gonna feel ready, but you'll learn 90% of the stuff on the job. 4, there's gonna be snacks everywhere. Don't be tempted, stay on your health goals, bring your own food. Don't make the same mistake that I did, gaining 30 kilos. You don't want that. Number 5, it's very rewarding nursing as a job. I highly encourage you, if you're thinking about it and this video helps, go for it and let me know how it goes. And number 6 is be prepared. Showers are gonna be awkward. Looking after people naked is gonna be awkward, but it is so rewarding. You get to be there for people when they need you the most. And I'll leave you, as I always leave you, have a wonderful day and stay awesome. Cow!